Happy New Year, everyone. I'm so glad we are in 2026. 2025 is done and dusted for me. It was so exhausting, which I will get to in just a minute. 2025 has beaten me to the ground. It has taught me so many lessons, which I'm going to be sharing with you. And why am I doing this? Because I consider you part of this journey and my family, and I'd love to share things with you. I feel like I totally and utterly failed at life in 2025. Although fail is such a harsh word, I feel like it's not necessarily a bad thing because it teaches you so much in your life and you can learn from that and move on and try to do things better. And that's exactly what I'm planning to do this year. So I'm going to be sharing with you everything that 2025 taught me, what I went through, and how I'm planning to change this year. And even if this video just helps one person, that'll be fantastic. I'm going to be applying my makeup as I'm talking, but I'm not going to be talking about every product that I'll be using. So if you'd like to refer to any of these products, they'll be linked in the description box below. The first thing that I didn't do right is letting everybody in my life, and I didn't set boundaries. So everybody felt like they could do whatever with me. They can ask for whatever they felt like and they will receive it, which they did. I used to think saying no is such a horrible thing. And if you go back to one of my manifestation videos, you'll see that I wanted to be the yes man, like say yes to everything, all the opportunities, all the people, and just be more positive about everything. But by doing that, I was burned out. I was so exhausted that I cannot even tell you. There were days that I didn't even feel like getting up from bed. For example, I said yes to a project last year, and going in, I knew it wouldn't be the best choice for me and it's going to be just too much work. But I still said yes because I felt like by saying no, I would offend the brand or they would not want to work with me again. But that's the worst thing that could have ever happened. Although I love the brand and the product, that project left me exhausted and I had to keep everything aside for a week and I just didn't feel like myself. It left me cranky and exhausted. So setting boundaries, I feel like, is magic. You should be able to draw that line, whether it's with your family, your friends, your near and dear ones, your business relationships, and definitely with a few people who you should never allow cross that line. So this year, I'm going to be very intentional about the choices that I make and the boundaries that I set without feeling guilty. And honestly, even small things count, like not answering work calls after 11 p.m. That's setting a boundary too. That leads to my second point of being burned out. Wow, 2025 burned me out beyond imagination. So my goal in 2026 is to avoid being burnt out. And one of the reasons it burnt me out is because I set very high expectations for myself, and in return, I couldn't do anything. I almost felt numb. I felt like I kept saying yes to everything, and in return, I felt like I had forgotten how to live my life. There were times when my family wanted me to have dinner with them, but I just wanted to do that one more thing. Or my husband would ask me to come and watch a movie with him to wind down over a weekend. And then I would have another thing that I wanted to finish up. Why? So in 2026, I actually want to pause and breathe and have fun and actually prioritize spending more time with family and loved ones. Because at the end of the day, that's what brings me more joy than anything else in my life. It's almost counterintuitive, but I become more creative when I take a break and laugh and have a good time with family and friends and then reset and get back to work rather than working all the time and getting burnt out. So that's going to change in 2026. This next one's a big one about prioritizing mental health. I used to advise everybody around me on taking care of mental health, but when it came to myself, I felt like it was so overrated and I could just somehow magically just handle everything myself without a problem, without it affecting me in any way, but I was so wrong. This can sound a little controversial, but it's important to be selfish. And what do I mean by that? It's important to prioritize yourself, your mental health, and it's important to check in with yourself ever so often. That way you don't feel lost, especially in this lonely world where everything is getting online and that human touch somewhere along the line is, I feel like having a disconnect at this very moment. So make sure you're not just checking in with your online profile or your AI avatar. Instead, you are checking in with yourself and making sure everything is fine. And whether it's journaling or just taking a walk or just talking to yourself in front of the mirror, make sure you're taking these steps to clear your mind out. Taking care of your mind is probably as important as brushing your teeth every day. And I feel like 2026 is going to be the year when I prioritize my mental health more than anything else. I just want to do it right for me and my well-being, because I feel like if I can take care of myself, if I can be that selfish, then I can take care of everything else around me, whether it's people, the people that I love, or my work. Everything will fall in place. You take care of yourself, you'll take care of everybody around you. It starts from within. That energy that you radiate is so important. So mental health is not a trend, it's a real thing. Make sure to protect it and take care of it like it's your child. Speaking of which, what I want to do less and less this year to protect my mental health is focus on myself and not what others are doing or how they're leading their lives on social media, because I feel like that can really take a toll on everybody, including myself. So one thing that I actually want to do in 2026 is scroll less on social media. I want to remove all the junk and genuinely follow people that I learn from. I think that's going to take care of a lot of things for me. Just remove the clutter and focus on the right things. Another thing that I didn't do right this year is I reacted to pressure. A lot of my decision making was based on how pressured I was to do it. And I feel like in that process, I made a lot of bad choices for myself. Whether it was pressure from my agency to take up a certain project, or pressure from relatives to attend an event that I didn't want to go to. And in that process, I didn't enjoy it. And the people who pressured me into doing it didn't enjoy it either. Instead, I could have used that time to do something that I truly love. So in 2026, even if the entire world is signing up for something that I don't enjoy, I'm not falling for that pressure and I'm going to do what I feel like doing. That way, at least at the end of the day, I'm satisfied with the decision that I made. And that alone is going to save me from a lot of stress. The next thing that I'm going to tell you is probably the single most thing that almost ruined my life. Protect your energy. I realized that not everybody's energy is meant for you. The gossip, the drama, the negative vibes, that can stay aside. Because at the end of the day, even if you're not contributing, even if you're just listening to all this, that energy can transfer onto you and you can transfer that onto your loved ones. I wanted to be a helping hand, so I started to absorb that energy and I felt like I was helping the person. But in return, I think it really took a toll on my mental health. So this year, I'm going to actively step back on things that feel heavy, especially if there's a person who has that victim mentality of blaming everyone and everything and every situation but themselves. I'm going to intentionally avoid them. Now, this next point is very true for me, may not be for everybody, because I've seen majority of the people handle this really well, but I'm not good with it, which is having a support system around you. I have been extremely independent from a very early age, to a point where I can go to dinners myself, I can go to movies myself, no problems. I don't feel like I need people around me all the time. But I'm also the kind who will be the first one to come and support you when you need it. What I've realized is, although I love content creation and I love the industry that I'm in, this journey is extremely lonely. So you need a good support system around you. I almost shy away from seeking help or support. I feel like I can handle everything myself without any problems. But sometimes that's so not true. So in 2026, I'm going to change that. I used to feel like I can handle everything myself. I don't really need anybody to come and save me per se, but that's further from the truth. There were times where I would just feel like I had this huge weight on my shoulder, but I couldn't share it with anybody. Although there were people willing to help, I said, no, I can handle it myself. And that was a lot of pressure. So this year, that's going to change. I'm still a very private person, but I'm going to be a lot more open about seeking help and support where I need it. In 2026, I am going to make all the real people in my life a priority, so I don't ever have to feel like I'm handling everything myself and there's nobody to understand me. All this leads me into the next point that I just didn't do right in 2025 that almost ruined my content creation, which is being extremely disorganized. Many of you are already aware that I'm building a studio in the back of our house, which is really exciting, but what I did not anticipate is deadlines work differently for everybody. I had very high expectations and the project was supposed to complete in February of 2025. We are still working on it. So because I depended on a lot of people, I went with their deadlines, I listened to a lot of people, there was too much clutter, I just failed to organize my life and everything around me. And in return, I just started taking care of everything that was thrown at me without any organization, without any planning, no scheduling, and it was pure chaos. So this year, rather than being too dependent on others, I want to take control. I almost forgot who I was. I'm like an avid planner. I'm going back to the Smitha in 2024 where I would plan everything, track everything, set goals, to-do lists, and that should help me be a lot more organized so I can have less clutter and less chaos in my life. This next point again might sound a little bit controversial, but in 2026, I am going to put myself first. One of my favorite quotes is, if you ask yourself to put together 10 things that you absolutely love in your life, where do you put yourself in that list? For me, that was non-existent. I was nowhere in the list. So what it's actually asking you to do is put yourself at number 1. Although that sounds so selfish, trust me, in the long run, that's definitely going to help. Although it's very important to have the support system around you, at the end of the day, trust me when I say this, you are your own best friend. People will have a zillion things to talk about you and your journey. And sometimes, trust me, it comes from a good place because they care for you and they want to support you. But nobody, not even your spouse or your kids, understand your journey like you do. At the end of the day, you have to do what you feel is right for your journey. So this year, I'm going to, again, very intentionally and very purposefully show up for myself, check in with myself, and lead myself actively into the journey that I truly belong to. I'm going to be very authentically myself, even if that's not going to make everybody happy, and I know it wouldn't, but when you show up as your true, authentic self, you're going to attract the people who want to be with you for who you are. And those are the kind of people that I want to take along with me on this journey. And lastly, because I pretty much felt like I failed at everything and my life was a chaos, my energy was drained, I was not in the right headspace, I barely ever socialized because I felt like I just didn't have the time for it and I was focusing on the wrong stuff. And that is something that I want to change this year. So does that mean I'm going to attend too many parties? No, I'm only going to attend the ones that have the people that truly bring me joy and are best for my mental health. So as you step into 2026, remember this. You design your own life, so protect it like it's your child, embrace yourself, and do things that light you up. And that's exactly what I will be doing this year. This year, I want to fully show up for myself and the people I absolutely love. That includes all of you. I'd love to know how your 2025 was and if there's something that you want to change in 2026. So share with me in the comments below. Here's to a year filled with more of you, more of joy, more of success, the best of you, and everything that you desire. I love you guys so much. Happy 2026 to each and every one of you. And I will see you soon with a brand new one. Bye guys.